Hello there, Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so glad you're here. Today I am featuring the Spellbinders Large Die of the Month kit for June 2020. In this kit, there are some fun dies, geometric shapes to go with some floral images. I have paired them together in 2 cards for you today, and now let's take a closer look at the actual die set. This is the largest geometric frame in the set. You can see it die cuts the thinnest frame in this abstract geometric shape, and it is yummy, cut from some metallic cardstock. So I've die cut mine from gold, and you can use either of these 2 pieces for your projects. The smaller frame has an offset look with 2 different shapes for a really cool look on your card. I've die cut mine from silver, and I'm going to use both of those frames in today's cards. Now let's look at the floral pieces. You have different branch and leafy images that you can die cut, and I think this one's really fun paired with the die at the top that's almost cut off. You could add those on as little buds. And the leaves, I love that you have the long shaped leaves as well as the round shaped leaves, so you can really mix and match and have a lot of fun making floral arrangements and adding some flowers. And here's the little buds. All right, so now I wanted to show you the paper that I cut mine from are leftover backgrounds. I do a lot of gel press printmaking, ink smushing, ink blending, and so I used those extra backgrounds to die cut these pieces today. And I'm sure you might be like me and have backgrounds of different kinds that you like to make lying around to use someday. And today is someday with this die set. So I will be using those, and then also I have this watercolor background that didn't quite turn out for the project I wanted it for, and so I'm going to use that in addition with the die cut from gold. So when I die cut that out, you see I get the large solid shape as well as the frame. So I'm going to take my gold frame and I'm going to glue it on top of this watercolor one because I don't really need that one, and it's just going to make this shape, this frame, a little bit sturdier, and it's going to raise it up a tiny bit. And I thought that would be cool on this card. And you can see you can inlay these, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm taking a scripty embossing folder. This one was sold at the Spellbinders shop, and it has since retired. But there are lots of scripty font looking embossing folders you could use, or you could use any embossing folder on this background. I have die cut a second gold frame, and I'm going to offset these 2, kind of like the smaller die does for you, but I'm going to do this myself, so you could do the same thing. Next, I'll glue down my solid piece. Isn't that fabulous? Die cut from that watercolor paper. This is why I'm so glad I saved all those backgrounds. It worked out in the end, even though it didn't work for the original project that I wanted it for. Now you can see I am laying down and gluing on that second frame that's a little bit thicker around my geometric shape. And now I'm going to add all those floral pieces. So I have die cut the smaller branch from a little bit different pattern that I didn't show at the beginning, but you can see the paper there in the upper left corner of the screen. I'm just gluing those into place, taking care to press them down because they are going over like a textured paper and different levels of the cardstock as they're glued over the shape. And I'm using them to frame the bottom of this shape, and I think this is a really fun way to use these dies, which is kind of the way they are intended and the examples on the Spellbinders website shows. And so I thought I had to give it a try, and I die cut some flowers from gold and then some from yellowish orange patterns, and I thought that worked really well for this pattern. And then I'm going to take the different circles, so I'm taking the gold ones, these come out when you die cut the flower, and I'm gluing the gold ones on top of the yellow flowers, and then the ones that come from that pattern paper or that gel press background I glued on the gold flowers. Now I'm taking some blue Lagoon ink and stamping that in the center of my geometric shape. And because I'm stamping it on top of watercolor paper, I found that I actually needed to stamp this 3 times to get that really solid inked look that I wanted. And I feel like this color goes so good over the top of the background that I had watercolored previously. Now I'm taking some Cool Pool silk and splattering that over the top because I just love splatter. I love it. So when this dries, the splatter has a fabulous shimmer to it. So it's so beautiful. I'm gluing that onto my top folding A2 sized card to finish it up. And that is the first card. I love the gel press prints, the watercolor mixed together. I'm so happy I used up those backgrounds. For card number 2, I am bringing in the Barn Wall embossing folder, another background that I had not used for something else, and die cut a second geometric shape. And now I'm going to add splatter to my embossed panel. This is silver silk, and I'm putting this on before I add anything else, so it will just be in the background. And the shimmer on this is fabulous. Time to layer up those frames again. So with my two-way glue pen, I'm dotting on some glue and stacking those up and gluing them together for a thicker frame. And this time I am not cutting an additional frame. I'm only using the one, and I will glue that to the background, just kind of playing with it, deciding where I want it to go and how I want it to sit. And I just do this. That's what I do when I make a card. You got to kind of figure out how you want it to go, right? Yeah, I'm sure you do that too. So now we're adding on a sentiment. I stamped Just Because in clear pigment ink and am embossing it with silver powder. The two sentiments I use today are from the same stamp set, and there is a coordinating die, so I can die cut this one out, and I think it's going to look great on this card. I'm going to pop it up with some foam squares, and then I'm going to tuck my floral pieces in and around that sentiment. So adding some glue for the greenery, and then once I get those where I want them, I will add in some flowers and some silver little sprigs there as well. And then I'm using that same silver silk to dot on the center of these flowers. I wanted the centers of these to be a little bit more organic and not so like a perfect circle that comes with the die set. So I thought that would be a fun little addition and tie in some more of that silver. I did use those tiny circles though. I thought they'd be fun as little accents to add on in and around the floral spray that comes around the sentiment. So we'll glue those down, and I'll put one more towards the top, and I would love to know what you think about the little circles. It's like kind of in place of a gem or a sequins, you know? So we'll put that onto a top folded A2 size card, and that will finish up the card number 2. But I did have this extra flower, so I thought it would be fun to add it to the inside of the card, and then I added a little bit more splatter in the inside as well. And I have to have my box because I get a little crazy with the splatter. You can see there's splatter all the way up the side of my very well-used box. So there you go. Those are the two cards. I think this die set is one that's really versatile because you could make different frames. You could mix and match the frames with different patterns of paper, or leave the middle part in or take it out, and it would go for any occasion. So I think it's a very versatile die set that you could use over and over. I know I had a ton of fun with it, and so glad I used up some of those backgrounds. So let me know if you enjoyed this video, and I will be back again very soon with another crafty video for you, so stay tuned. And if you're brand new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I have new videos all the time. Happy stamping! Bye!